Hello everyone, it's me again. I'm here with another video. Today's video will be what if Green Goblin lived in Sam Raimi Spider-Man? This could have been a big change for the trilogy going forward and shifted in a whole different direction if I'm being honest. So, rather than Green Goblin trying to kill Spider-Man or Norman Osborn trying to kill Spider-Man with his glider, Spider-Man probably would have punched Norman or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. The punch could have left Norman with memory loss as soon as he would hit the wall. Peter could be like in, oh no. And so he brings Norman back to his home, but the whole funeral scene at the end would be cut out. Instead, Norman is just suffering memory loss. Something identical to the Spider-Man will pay scene would happen. Like maybe my father is worried that the Goblin may return, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But the rest of the ending would play out the same. Now, how would this affect the rest of the trilogy going forward? By the time of Spider-Man 2, this is where some big changes would happen. Harry is getting a lot better in his career. Doesn't have a grudge against Spider-Man whatsoever. And of course, he has a new girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, who I think would have been played by Bryce Dallas Howard. Yes, I know that it's introducing Gwen earlier, but still. Now, there would be a love triangle between Peter, Gwen, Harry, and MJ, which turns into a love square. Norman, I could totally see helping Otto Octavius with his machine. And Octavius would initially try to kill Norman for the failed experiment until Norman suggests a proposal, suggesting that the Goblin is slowly returning. And then, of course, that whole deal is the same. Kill Spider-Man so he could complete his machine. And then, of course, Octavius would not only kidnap MJ, but he would also kidnap Gwen. And Captain Stacy, I could also be introduced in this movie, trying to have Octavius surrender. But Octavius wouldn't listen. And then the rest of the movie played out the same, except Peter would end up saving not only MJ, but Gwen too. And Octavius would survive. I'm not 100% sure how, but I think he would. Like maybe Spider-Man helps him take down the machine or something like that. Or maybe the machine is stopped a lot earlier. It goes either way, honestly. But Octavius is sent to jail at the end. Norman then hears the news about what happened and then decides to make his grand plan to form the Sinister Six. And at the end, MJ would still get married to John Jameson, and Gwen Stacy would be said to become Peter's new love interest. Now, with Spider-Man 3, I pictured two different directions. There's the first direction. Spider-Man 3 is the Sinister Six movie. No black suit, no Venom, and no new Goblin. Essentially, Harry would be at a low point because Gwen broke up with him and is starting to feel somewhat jealous of Peter for taking his girlfriend away from him. But they are on more average terms, but still, as friends. And so Harry tries to find another girl. That, of course, being Liz Allen. Not too sure who I could see as Liz Allen, maybe Jessica Biel. MJ would appear less in the movie. Now, in terms of the Sinister Six, they would be Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Vulture, Mysterio. And the last one was tricky, but I'm going to say Shocker. I think Shocker and Mysterio would be opening villains along with Vulture. And Norman would be trying to convince Sandman to join him. And I would imagine a prison break scene where Norman breaks out a lot of the members of the Sinister Six. During the final battle, Gwen and Liz would be kidnapped, and it's Spider-Man versus all of his villains. It's a tough fight. He manages to take down Mysterio, Shocker, and Vulture, and then he faces Sandman, Osborn, and Octavius. Sandman would end up betraying Osborn and likely Otto too, but this results in the death of Octavius at the hands of Norman. But the betrayal scene, I would picture being kind of like that concept. It would be kind of like the concept art from No Way Home, when Octavius was supposed to have turned on Osborn. It would be like that, except it's not multiversal, you know what I mean. And then Norman would hold Gwen Stacy, and as another Gwen to the death of Gwen Stacy storyline, he drops her. But Spider-Man would actually save her. It'd be like a full circle moment, kind of like a callback to the first movie. But Gwen's father would end up dying. I would picture him being killed by Osborn so he can get his hands on Captain Stacy's daughter. In the end, Osborn and the rest of the six would be arrested. But I could also see him dying, but I'm not 100% sure. But in the end, Peter and Gwen would end up sharing a kiss. And of course, Harry would decide to try to move on from Gwen with Liz. But this may set up him to become the Green Goblin, the next Green Goblin, or my preference, Hobgoblin. But that wouldn't happen. Then I picture a second direction. You go with the original direction, the original vision of Spider-Man 3, with Vulture as the villain, but there's no Goblin storyline. That takes a backseat. But the Black Suit is evolved. But there would be two villains, Vulture and Sandman. The symbiote would end up on Harry, which could set up Spider-Man 4, but that, to me, would set up a Venom spinoff instead. With Carnage as the villain. Though I could picture the symbiote not being in this version, thus the spinoff wouldn't exist. And then the Sinister Six would be the villains in Spider-Man 4, with the team being Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Vulture, Mysterio, Rhino, and Shocker. And Green Goblin would die in Spider-Man 4. And then in the end, Spider-Man and Gwen get married, or Peter and Gwen, after 3 films. So that's what if Green Goblin lived in Spider-Man 2002. Yeah, I know I took Spider-Man 3 in a completely different direction with the Sinister Six, but I just feel like if they were going to do the Sinister Six in the Sam Raimi movies, they would not have had to kill off Norman or Octavius. Do I think they should have survived? No. I didn't mean it like that. But I feel like that's what would have had to happen if they were going to do the Sinister Six in these movies. But I could be wrong. About MJ marrying John. Maybe MJ would have still dumped John. She and Peter would have gotten together, and Harry would have gone with Gwen, or it's the other way around, or Harry and MJ, and Peter and Gwen. I don't know, honestly. I also do admit the possibility the Sinister Six would have been built up throughout 6 movies. Like, Sony had planned on 4, 5, and 6, but Spider-Man 4 was meant to be the last one, meaning that Spider-Man 5 and 6 would be nothing due to 4 being the last one. And maybe Spider-Man 3 still would have gone with the Venom storyline, but there would have been another villain in Spider-Man 3 to complete that roster. Maybe someone like Shocker as a side villain in Spider-Man 3. And then by the time of 4, you get to Vulture. 5, Lizard and Craven. And then 6, it would be Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Shocker, Vulture, or my preference, Mysterio, Craven, and for a new villain, Electro. It could go either way, if I'm being honest. But I also do admit the possibility of Black Cat becoming Harry's new love interest, with MJ no longer in the narrative if she were to stick with John. I think it could go either way, honestly. If you have your idea as to how this would have gone, like after Spider-Man 2, let me know in the comments down below. Especially you, Mr. Theme Songs, if you're watching this. Anyways, bye.